In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to prevent HPV from coming back again, how to keep it gone for good. I'm Dr. Donnie Wilson, and welcome to this episode of How Humans Heal. Many women who I help to clear high-risk HPV worry what's going to happen when I am intimate again, either with the same partner or a different sexual partner. Is HPV just going to come back again? These are women who maybe have been dealing with high-risk HPV for either a year or more than 5 years, or in some cases, even more than 20 years. And so these are women who've been dealing with this virus, having to go through numerous procedures at the gynecology office, sometimes treatments, sometimes surgeries, and over again, feeling extremely afraid that this virus could come back, cause abnormal cells, and disrupt their life. So when they follow my protocol and they finally healed their body and they've finally gained their freedom from high-risk HPV, it's no wonder that they're feeling so concerned about what they can do to prevent it from coming back again. And now some women are in this same relationship with the same partner, and some women may be dating and in a different relationship. And so they say, well, should I be testing everyone for HPV? Should I just avoid sex? Should I use condoms? What should I do to protect myself? And here's my answer. It's very, very clear and specific. I want to make sure you understand how my approach is different. The difference is I encourage you to focus on supporting your body's ability to protect yourself naturally from high-risk HPV, no matter if you're exposed again, no matter how many times you're exposed. Your body can be able to protect you from the virus even when you're exposed to the virus. Because the alternative is to be existing in a state of fear, right? A fear of what if I get exposed? What if this person I'm intimate with has high-risk HPV? Even if you decide, okay, I'm going to find a test and somehow test my partners. But even then, what are you going to test every single time you're with that partner? That's going to be really difficult. Or you could say, I'm going to use a condom. But we also have to know that HPV can be spread even if you use a condom. Even if you have a vaccine, it can be spread. So it's not 100% effective, any of those methods. And so we can become very boxed in our life and feeling like we can't interact with any other humans. Even then, we can feel like we have to be very afraid and controlling over our partners. And a lot of times women are also blaming their partners or blaming men, when actually HPV virus is a virus that's spread by both women and men. So at a certain point, I believe we have to realize that being exposed to HPV is something that happens to us as humans. When we're intimate and connected with other humans, we quite likely could get exposed to at least one or more of high-risk strains of HPV. But the thing I think that often is not known is that the human immune system and microbiome and body has the ability to protect us from high-risk HPV virus. That's why millions of people are exposed to the virus, but not everyone who is exposed ends up testing positive or having abnormal cells. So we have to realize, we have to look at this in a different way. And so my protocol is not just about setting you up for being in a state of constant fear and surveillance of exposure to the virus. My protocol is built on the approach of helping you to learn how to support your body to protect you from high-risk HPV. And this is something that is absolutely doable. Women showed me this. This is not something I learned in medical school. This is not something any practitioners learn in medical school. This is something I found by case after case, seeing these women who are in their same partnership or a different partnership, even being exposed to HPV again, and it's not testing positive and it's not causing abnormal cells again, because they have now been able to learn what their body needs in order to protect them from high risk HPV. And I know you can learn that too. So the first step is to follow my HPV protocol so that you can clear the virus and address the underlying causes of why your system wasn't fending it off to begin with. And once you address those underlying causes, and now you get your negative test result, instead, you're not going to just stop doing everything you just did to help your body clear the virus. You're going to want to maintain all these positive changes that you've been making. Now, you're not going to have to keep on taking all the same supplements you were taking to help your body clear the virus, and you're not going to have to be using all kinds of different suppositories for the rest of your life. That's not the solution either, right? It's not the solution to just take all these supplements and suppositories forever. And the solution is not to stop and just go into a state of fear. To me, the solution is let's maintain. So it's about maintenance. How do we figure out what your body needs in order to maintain a fully functioning active immune system to protect you from HPV and many other infections that you could get exposed to?
I know how scary it is to test positive for HPV virus, and I know it's even more concerning when your gynecologist tells you that all you can do is wait and see if it continues and if it causes abnormal cells. That's exactly why, as a naturopathic doctor and midwife, that I feel so passionate about helping women to be proactive about protecting themselves from HPV virus. I've been helping thousands of women for the past 23 years to do exactly that, and to get HPV to negative and stay negative. And that's why I developed the Say Goodbye to HPV online program, where you can get access to my proven protocol from wherever you are in the world. So I hope you will come check out the Say Goodbye to HPV program, review the success cases, and see if this is going to be a good fit to help you get your life back from HPV.
So we need to shift from this mindset of fear to a mindset of empowerment, a mindset of knowing that you can support your body's ability to protect you. And that can be, there's some basic things that all of us can keep in mind, and I'm going to talk through those strategies, but there's also a part of this that needs to be individualized, that needs to be where you're doing blood work with a practitioner who can help you get the right blood work to know which nutrient doses your body needs over time, not just to protect you from HPV, but to also protect you from other nutrient deficiencies and bone loss and dementia and heart disease and cancer and all the other things that we are susceptible to as humans. So we need to get the right blood tests, we need to be monitoring also your hormone levels, your microbiome, and help make sure that your body has what it needs based on your genetic tendencies and your stress exposure, right? That's how we're going to help you maintain your health overall, including your body's ability to protect you from HPV. So the general strategies that I recommend include what I refer to as self-care. So self-care, I use as an acronym for CARE, C for clean eating. So once you learn how to eat clean, you're going to want to maintain clean eating going forward. And A stands for adequate sleep. So we're going to want to make sure that you maintain getting adequate sleep the majority of nights as possible. The R stands for recovery activities. So being able to integrate stress recovery activities into your day, into your week, into your routine. And E is for exercise. That means being able to include movement in your day and in your life, because all of these things help our bodies to stay healthy and help our immune system to protect us from infections like high-risk HPV. We're also going to want to, again, monitor blood work to make sure that you're on the nutrient doses that your body needs. How is your vitamin D level? Do you have enough? What amount of vitamin D should you take every day to maintain optimal levels? Same with other nutrient levels and B vitamins and doing the right tests, like we need to do homocysteine and methylmalonic acid to measure your B vitamin and methylation activity. So we need to be doing the right tests and have practitioners who can help you do those tests so that you can get the right information that you need for your body to know which nutrients to take each and every day. We also can be monitoring hormone levels, whether that's estrogen, progesterone, as well as thyroid, cortisol, and insulin function, all of which influence your body's ability to protect you from HPV. We also need to take into account your microbiome. And if there's impacts on your microbiome from medications or stress or toxins, then we need to work to re-optimize your microbiome, both your gut microbiome and your vaginal microbiome. Because what we see in the research and in clinical studies, in clinical cases, is that when women are in an optimal health state, healthy nutrients, healthy hormone balance, blood sugar balance, cortisol balance, neurotransmitter balance, microbiome balance, then their bodies are able to protect them from high-risk HPV, even when they're exposed again. So I hope this gives you some hope and some strategies for how you can take this from here to maintaining protection from HPV into the future. Because really what I find, I've been working with patients, helping them with HPV for some cases over 15 years, over 20 years, and they've been able to maintain a negative HPV, even when re-exposed, because of this, because they're following a protocol that addresses the root causes, and because they're then maintaining support for their body over time. Again, it's not about looking for a quick fix. It's not about taking a whole bunch of things forever. And it's not about just forgetting about everything and hoping it's going to go away. And it's certainly, to me, not about living in a state of fear. We have to find a way to listen to our bodies, to learn about our bodies, each of you in your individual unique needs, your unique response to stress, your unique nutrients that you might need more of than another person, your unique hormone patterns. And once we understand them, that's going to be your body. You're going to be able to maintain it going forward. And I believe this is why so many women who follow my HPV protocol end up describing it as a transformation, because they literally have transformed their health and their relationship to their body and their self in the process. And once you've transformed your health in that way, it's very unlikely you're going to go back to the old way, because now you've integrated information and you're going to want to maintain that going forward. And I would say especially when you're under stress. So I always say to keep in mind that when we're under major stress or accumulative stress, that's when our immune system gets depleted. That's when our microbiome gets impacted. So if you know that you're being under stress, if you are in an accident or get injured or have another infection or go through a divorce or any other kind of major change, even going through menopause, those are the times when we need to support our bodies more, not less. So much of the time it's when we're under stress that we feel like we don't have time to do our self-care. But what I'm saying is when we're stressed is when we need that self-care the most. So I encourage you to keep that in mind. And when you know you're under stress, make a point of bringing back the care for yourself even more than you're doing already, because that's going to help you through the stress and it's going to prevent you from becoming depleted by stress, because it's when we get depleted by stress that HPV can sneak back in. So we need to keep our guard up and keep our protection mechanisms going. That's how the women that I work with are able to keep HPV gone for good. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If I can answer any questions or help you with making sure that HPV doesn't come back, maybe you had abnormal cells removed and you just want to make sure that they don't come back again. Maybe you even dealt with HPV-related cancer and you want to make sure it doesn't come back again. That is everything that I do in my practice and in my online programs. So I'll put the links down below in case you'd like to reach out to my office to talk about how I can help you in your case to make sure HPV doesn't cause abnormal cells again and test negative even into the future, even if you're exposed again, because one more time, I want to make sure and repeat after me if this helps you to say it's less about exposure. Most all of us are exposed to HPV. Simply controlling exposure isn't enough. We have to think about steps we can take to protect ourselves from this virus, even if we're exposed. And that's the perspective that helps me and my patients know that they can go forward into their life and into relationships without being in a constant state of fear of HPV. Thanks so much for joining me here at How Humans Heal. And if you haven't already, I welcome you to join me for the next episode by subscribing. And you can also visit drdani.com to sign up for my newsletter so that you can hear about the next episode in my newsletter each week. All right, take care. I'll see you all soon.
Thanks for listening to How Humans Heal. If you liked this episode, leave a rating and a review. And for more resources, visit drdani.com.